Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or mochuku, depending on your location. Please subscribe to this channel, like and share so that you will help us propagate the truth. Now the news update. Tinubu linked with drug trafficking by US court. Not qualified to contest Nigerian presidency. P2B tells election tribunal. Alright, now the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, talking about Mr. P2B, on Tuesday filed his petition to challenge the victory of Bola Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress in the February 25th election. The Independent National Electoral Commission had announced Tinubu as the winner of the election, after which he declared him president-elect. But in his petition before the Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja, Obi alleged that election was characterized by various irregularities, including the non-qualification of the APC candidates. That's his allegation to Bola Tinubu, and he said he is ever ready to prove it. According to him, Tinubu's forfeiture of his funds to the US government over drug trafficking allegation is an indication that the former Lagos State governor committed infractions that should disqualify him from running for an election in Nigeria. Sahara reporters had reported how court papers from the US linked Tinubu to a drug trafficking case and his eventual forfeiture of the sum of $460,000 to the American government. On February 18, 2009, the same newspaper obtained original copies of the judgment in the case of United States versus Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in which the president-elect was charged along with other defendants in a case of massive drug trafficking and money laundering. This judgment directly relates to and further documents the Sahara Reporters report of September 16, 2008, how U.S. federal agents successfully linked Tinubu to drug trafficking ring in Chicago. The U.S., by its attorney Michael J. Shepard, United States Attorney for Northern District of Illinois, for its verified complaint of forfeiture, stated that beginning as early as 1998, Adegboyega Muiz Akonde, with others, operated an organization which distributed white heroin, a controlled substance under Title 21 of the United States Code. This distribution operation was conducted on a large scale and the proceeds of the operation substantial. Now the court ordered that the funds in the amount of $460,000 in account in the name of Bola Tinubu represents proceeds of narcotics or were involved in financial transactions in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1956 and 1957, and therefore these funds are forfeited to the United States. After protracted litigation in which Tinubu claimed that the monies legitimately belonged to him, his wife Oluremi Tinubu, and his surrogate mother, one Alhaja Mogaji, Bola Tinubu finally opted for a stipulated settlement with the U.S. government. According to the settlement order dated September 15, 1993, Honorable Judge John A. Nunberg ordered that the sum of $460,000 held by Bola Tinubu in the First Heritage Bank account be forfeited to the United States government. In his petition, Obi anchored this claim on the grounds that Tinubu at the time of the election was not qualified to contest the election. The court documents read, the petitioners state that the grounds on which the petition is based are as follows. The second respondent was at the time of the election not qualified to contest the election. The election of the second respondent was invalid by reason of corrupt practices or non-compliance with the provisions of the more than one constituency. Now the petitioners shall contend at the trial that the purported sponsorship of the second and third respondents by the fourth respondent was rendered invalid by reason of the third respondent knowingly allowing himself to be nominated as the vice presidential candidate whilst he was still a senatorial candidate for the Borno Central constituency. Now the petitioners shall further contend that for this reason, the votes purportedly recorded for the second respondent at the contested presidential election were and are wasted votes and ought to be disregarded. The petitioners further plead that the second respondent was also at the time of the election not qualified to contest for election to the office of president, as he was fined the sum of $460,000 for an offense involving dishonesty, namely narcotics trafficking, imposed by the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division, in case number 93C4483 between, in the decree of forfeiture, Judge John A. Notberg, in that said case number 93C4483, ordered on court on October 4, 1993, on page 3 as follows. Ordered that the funds in the amount of $460,000 in account 263226700 held by First Heritage Bank in the name of Bola Tinubu represent the process of narcotics trafficking or were involved in financial transactions in violation of 18 U.S.C. 1956 and 1957, and therefore these funds are forfeited to the United States pursuant to 21 U.S.C. 381 AC and 18 U.S.C. 982. In its further order that First Heritage Bank shall issue a check in the amount of $460,000 payable to Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago, and that these funds shall be disposed of according to law. It is further ordered that the court shall retain jurisdiction over this action in order to implement and enforce the terms of this decree of forfeiture. Now, the above orders were made pursuant to paragraph 5 of the stipulations and compromise settlements of claims to the funds held by Heritage Bank and Citibank filed by the parties, which stated as follows. The parties further agreed that $460,000 from the defendant account held by Heritage Bank in the name of Bola Tinubu shall be forfeited by the United States and disposed of according to law. The funds remaining in the account shall be released to K.O. Tinubu. The petitioners hereby plead that and shall rely on certified copies of the following documents, namely a verified complaint for forfeiture submitted by Michael J. Shepard, United States Attorney, and signed by Marshal A. M.C. Cleland, Assistant United States Attorney. Will be added that Tinubu sworn met in the February presidential election. Kashim Shettima was nominated for 2 separate constituencies as Borno Central senatorial candidate and vice presidential candidate for Nigeria in the same election cycle. Now the war just started, talking about the legal battle between the acclaimed winner of the winner has been declared by the umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, talking about Bola Tinubu, whom they have declared president-elect, and the people, the man who the people said won that election, talking about Peter Obi, who is saying that the people of Nigeria gave him the mandate, and from the all indications, they are now in court, and these are the petition, these are the suit, these are the prayers of Peter Obi. These are what is challenging in the court of law as we are speaking. Now it now depends on the courts to do what is just and right. And how possible is that in a country where everything has been monetized? And you see, the man they are talking about, the Jagaban, the Miloko, he has perfected this. He knows that a day like this will come. So in judiciary he's there, in the INEC he's there. He has his footprints everywhere in this country, strategically position his people. Since 2015, President Buhari won that election, and they said he's the party leader, while Buhari is the president of Nigeria. So Tinubu has put people in the legislature, in judiciary, in everywhere, in the economy for this day. And so one wonders how they will turn against him, having seen that he is the man that, put them where they are, and he is ever willing to use his monumental wealth that is looted from Lagos for almost 30 years, and the ones he got from his drug business to influence them and the decisions